hereby call this meeting of the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation slated for November 25th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the Gun Barrel City Hall Chambers, City Council Chambers, 1716 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas. I hereby call it to order. Let's take a check for quorum. To my left.
Rademacher here.
Rankin here.
Key here.
Slack here.
Matthews here.
Bond here.
We have a quorum. Proceed to stand, please. Let's have a moment of prayer and pledge allegiance. Father, we thank you so much for bringing us together tonight in your presence. And Father, we ask that you stand with us and be with us and guide us to be pleasing in your sight, to bring this city to where you would have it be. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Stephen, do we have any citizens' comments? We do not. If we did have comments, I need to let you know that they're limited to 3 minutes each. No action would be taken or may be taken by any person desiring to speak must fill out a comment card prior to the gaveling the meeting to order. Individual citizens' comments are limited to 3 minutes, and minutes are not transferable to another citizen. Any person desiring to speak must come to the podium and be recognized by the presiding officer before beginning. Item number 4, consider and take action to approve the October 14th, 2025 EDC meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the October 14th, 2025 EDC meeting minutes.
I second.
We have a motion by Mr. Bond, a second by Ms. Matthews. Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, vote from my left.
Rademacher, yes.
Rankin, yes.
Key, yes.
Slack, yes.
Matthews, yes.
Bond, yes.
Motion passes, and October 14th, 2025 EDC meeting minutes are hereby placed in the permanent record of this organization. Item number 5, consider and take action to approve the September 2025 EDC financials. Turn it over to you.
All I want to point out on the financials, I assume Ms. Rankin had an opportunity to look them over?
Yes, sir.
We're okay? Just wanted to point out sales tax collections for this month of September were up 9% over last year, over the same month last year, and up 1% on a rolling 12-month average, or rolling 12-month period, not average. It's the whole period. So just want to see that upward trend continue. Got an early peek at the next ones. I think we'll be pleased next month when we do this as well. So,
Any questions from the board to staff?
I make a motion that we approve the September 2025 EDC financials as presented.
Mr. Bond makes a motion. Have a second?
Second.
Second.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Rankin, any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, vote from my right.
Bond, yes.
Matthews, yes.
Slack, yes.
Rankin, yes.
Key, yes.
Rademacher, yes.
Motion passes, and hereby approve and accept the September 2025 EDC financials as a permanent part of the record of this body. Item number 6. It's time for us to hear an update from our Executive Director, Charles.
yes, sir, happy to. I feel like on one hand, I feel like it's been forever since we met last, and on the other hand, it feels like it was only yesterday. So there has been, it's been active. That's the way I'll describe the last month. Started off shortly after our meeting, Steve and I had an opportunity to go down to San Antonio to the Texas Economic Development Council's annual conference. It's a big one. They put together a very robust speaker lineup. We got to hear sessions on, we sort of divided and conquered this thing where we would go to sessions that, A, interested us, yeah, and B, were relevant to what we're doing. There were some sessions down there that just weren't relevant to what we've got going on in town, but ones we thought had some application. We went to sessions on economic trends in Texas, a presentation from the Texas Film Commission. There was a session on, the title is so weird, I can't say it, but it was on entrepreneurship, basically cultivating an environment where entrepreneurs are able to thrive. The state of the Texas economy, kind of how we got here, where is it going next? And that was more around, in-migration, interest rates, what are tariffs doing to Texas, what are the labor market with immigration enforcement, what does that look like for Texas? How did we get here, where are we, and what's the next step? Well, don't need to get into what the content was, we can talk about that separately if we need to. So the state of the Texas economy, we talked, there was a big session in the Texas PACE program, which we have here in Henderson County, a PACE program set up, which is an initiative that was rolled out by the federal government years ago, passed down to the states. The state of Texas decided to roll that down to cities and counties. Henderson County picked it up, and it's an initiative to rebuild the infrastructure of this country in a sustainable way, an environmentally friendly way, and it's a government. It's hard to understand. It's a government-backed financing program where basically banks make equipment loans for more energy-efficient equipment into a business. The government puts an assessment on it, as in a tax lien, giving the bank and then assigns that lien to a bank, giving them the opportunity to enforce like the most risky kind of loan they do, which is an equipment loan. You know, if you loan somebody money to put an AC, it's awfully hard to back your truck up and repo that AC. And so what they do is they let the banks off the hook by giving them some government security on that. Anyway, Texas PACE program could be, the only reason I say so much about that here is because it could be a way to rebuild some of this infrastructure we have in town. Didn't have a program where I came from, so it's all new. I'm kind of giddy about it. And Pier 334 has some PACE financing behind it. So, and then finally, what was on everybody's mind is AI and economic development in Texas. And other than there's going to be a bunch of data centers built, which take power and water, nobody really has a handle on what AI is going to mean for economic development. Anyway, we went to all these sessions, plus we went to the networking events that they hold. I like to take a speaker and send them a text or an email, set up a meeting, and go meet with them during the conference if I can. I was able to do that with four of those. And then also meet with all of our vendors. So Golden Shovel's there, Retail Coach is there, Jason Mundo was there, Placer AI was there. All of these vendors that we have, we can look them in the eyeballs and let them know how we think they're doing, what we expect, how we can improve. So it was a very productive conference. Stephen, you got anything you want to add to that, or have I beat that horse to death? Okay, so a whole week of the time since we met last was taken up with a conference. I've been to every chamber and networking event I can get to just to try to meet people, know people here, be known here, and sort of put my roots here in Gun Barrel City. Let's see, Retail Coach. I pretty much talk to those guys once a week that are representing us, with one of those calls being a really thorough review of what they call Airtable. That's their database for tracking conversations they're having and feedback they're getting. Some of the news, in all honesty, was disappointing that I got today. Some of it was really encouraging. And so I don't know how to balance that out yet. I need at least a day to process what all we went over today. Mostly the news is we're going to wait and see. We've kind of shut it down for the rest of the year, which is typical in economic development for things to slow down at this time. Had some really, really good meetings with brokers and more so developers. One of the initiatives I'm trying to roll out here, I don't think that's the right way to say it, but one of the things I'm trying to get done is more master plan development. One of the things I heard in all my feedback that I got around the community is we're landlocked. We're not as landlocked as people think we are here in Gun Barrel City. We're really not. It takes some vision, it takes some creativity, it takes some data mining to figure out who owns what and where it is and what the topography's like. But what I found in 3 specific developer meetings on 3 different properties is there are opportunities out there for us to go. We're going to try to help them take down big tracts of land, master plan them. And so, you know, the incentives we're talking about tonight are great. The HTO is great. The Solomons is great. But I want to see 1 million square feet of retail on one property. You know, that's when we can really make some headroom. So I'm excited about that. Who knows where it'll lead, but it is long-term planning. And so I just want everybody's mind to be right about that. The meetings were awesome, lots of energy and activity here in Gun Barrel City, but it's going to take some runway to get it done. So that's my update, and I'll take any questions or we can keep going.
Well, I appreciate you giving us such a good update. I will also bring forward, January should be our time for our meeting with Retail Coach, to have an update with them.
Where we bring them in here?
Yes.
Has that been tradition? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to do it once a year too at my last stop, so I haven't talked to them about it. I didn't know that, so we'll figure out how to get them in here.
Yeah, I think it's January. Once a quarter is what we've been doing, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Once a quarter, okay.
once a quarter.
Yeah. Good to know.
And by the way, I'd just like to say I'm really, really excited that you have a vision and that you know these developers and are talking to them. I've been wanting that to happen for so long. It's great. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're trying.
And while you're up there still, I want to call it to everybody's memory, just a jog, just a note for your calendars. December the 2nd, 5:30 p.m. is our grand illustrious workshop we're going to have.
Yep.
I don't anticipate it going over an hour and a half, maybe 6. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah. So we'll come out of that meeting, and then I'm going to have a workshop with the city council at some point to get their priorities. We'll probably come back and workshop again, maybe together at some point. I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing that, but I want your feedback. We'll take it into the city council. We'll see what their feedback is, and we'll hone in on a vision together.
Mr. Hoke, I think that makes a great deal of sense.
Well, sometimes I stumble into a good idea.
And before I go on to substantive business, I would like to, any further questions for our executive director? Thank you, Mr. Hope.
Sure.
Before going to substantive business, I want to take time to show my appreciation and thank Laura Young. She is our newest chairman, president of the Park Board, doing a wonderful job. I'm glad to have her here with us. Thank you very much for being here tonight.
Yes.
Item number 7, consider and take action on an incentive request from LCLP Holdings, and we'll turn that over to Mr. Hoke.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. We have Lance Popham here. He owns several different buildings and businesses in town. I'm gonna read over what I sent out in the packet, just to get it in the record. Then we'll talk about the slide. Lance is here to answer any questions you have, because we do have some discussion, potential discussion to have around this incentive request. So LPLC Holdings has applied for a reimbursement grant for a parking lot paving project at 410 and 426 Gun Barrel Lane. The applicant owns several buildings in Gun Barrel City, currently operates Cedar Creek Cosmo at the 426 Gun Barrel Lane property. They acquired and renovated the building next door. That renovation has basically been completed. He can fill you in on if anything's lacking. I don't know if there is or not. But they acquired and renovated 410 Gun Barrel Lane, and they're converting it into a 2,600 square foot medical office building. The focus is going to be opening a physical therapy practice, initial staffing of 3 to 4 physical therapists, and a receptionist. I sent the checklist out for the incentive package, and the application was sent in a separate confidential email. The applicant originally, so Lance came in, I had been here, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days. Lance walks in, he drops off 3 applications with Stephen, I think, is that right? Anyway, all this had initiated before I got here. When I got the applications, Lance had already done a lion's share of the work that he was applying for reimbursement grant for. I don't know what happened before I got here, but as I got here and started digging through the applications that were there, the only work that was left and eligible for any kind of reimbursement grant was this parking lot project. So that's all that remains under consideration for an incentive grant. Because of that, the application you got has way more information than just the parking lot. I point that out because I think you need to review the entire packet to absorb all of the information relative to this incentive request. The work that's left is a $55,400 parking lot paving project. You have a picture of that in the packet. He applied for a $25,000 reimbursement grant. The incentive review committee met last month. I don't know if y'all remember. I tried to have this on the agenda. Y'all kicked it back into committee. The committee went back. There was vigorous discussion about this, which I thought the discussion was great. They came out with a recommendation of the committee to reimburse $15,000 of this $55,400. And so I want to point that out to the board. And I've wrestled with this, and for the most part, I'm trying to find a way to come out on the side of the committee. But all that being said, I'm just trying to look at the big picture of this incentive grant. We have Lance Popham, and well, I'll just tell him he's from here, Army veteran. Investing in this community as an aggressive entrepreneur and property owner, and creating jobs, renovating properties. And what we're looking at here is a parking lot project. I just think when you take and the fact that he's already put a couple $100,000 in, you can separate that if you want to. I have a hard time doing that. So, couple $100,000 he's already invested, paid for, done the work. He's asking for a $25,000 reimbursement grant. At the end of the day, I came down, I didn't think that was unreasonable, and so staff recommendation is that, $25,000. So with that, Lance can answer any questions. I can answer questions, I think, maybe. He's probably the better one to answer questions about his background and what his request is, what's left, what all he's done, or else I'll be happy to take whatever you guys, you all vote on to the council.
Let me go ahead and ask Mr. Popham to take the podium with you. Would you please go to the podium? Introduce yourself, sir.
Hey guys, my name's Lance Popham. I'm here from Gun Barrel, but I live in Kemp currently. I own Cedar Creek Clinic, Cedar Creek Cosmo. We've got 6 buildings. Sorry about the cough drop, but I got a pretty nasty cough. Hopefully it doesn't catch me. What questions do you guys have for me?
I've just, okay. You took Lakeview Cafe that was another dilapidated building, kind of like Whiskey River.
Yes, sir.
And you went in and you just took a Blythe visually and made it into something very nice. You've taken Whiskey River, you skinned it, and you took another Blythe, because I live over in that area, and Whiskey River, to me, was an eyesore.
Yes, sir.
Going down the road. I don't know if anybody else on the board has driven by the business to see what he has done and how appealing that makes that strip look. You basically, coming from the south, you started what we want to do with the city of Gun Barrel, and that's to visually make it welcoming. And it looks prosperous. And now then I go over, Whiskey River's got a gravel, or the new location has a gravel parking lot, and you're gonna pay from, I'm assuming, Cosmos
All of
all
it.
the way over and around.
Yes, sir.
And I'm just, and I'm kind of like Charles, I'm looking at the big picture, and I'm trying to figure out why we're knocking $10,000 off of it and not going ahead and doing the whole 25,000. Because to me, and heaven forbid something should happen and that business closes. That building and parking lot are going to stay.
Yes, sir.
That is a bonus to the city of Gun Barrel, in my opinion, for $10,000 extra dollars. Now, the committee may have other reasons, and I'm open to listening to them, but I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from.
Well, let me speak on behalf of the committee to say that the main thing that I think the committee looked at was the taxable income coming to the city through the business. Now, let me say, I think that Mr. Poppins' request is a victim of poor timing, actually. I think had he gotten all of this to us in the beginning, we would have funded the entirety of the $25,000 for the entirety of the project. So I'm going to ask, from the standpoint, I asked the committee members that are sitting here with me and the board sitting here with me to revisit this. And I'm going to tell you, the research I've done and looked at it, I'm for allowing the full $25,000 reimbursement grant to go. And that's my part that I'm saying. Do you have anything to add, Lisa?
The one thing I don't see in here that we discussed was the use of that parking lot for the remainder of the retail, that whole retail, the elements.
Oh, they also use that parking lot.
Okay, but we wanted it in the performance agreement or whatever. Okay, at the end, that. Yeah, you're obviously not going to be open in the evenings.
Correct.
I mean, so that's one thing that I did not see in here that we had all agreed upon.
And if I may, parking in Gun Barrel is a problem. So,
Yeah.
you got plenty of space and you got good buildings, but your parking's just terrible. So when we did this, we set it up to be where we could park, and friends of ours own that restaurant over there and the boutique and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of that helps their business keep growing, and that does help your sales and sales tax.
How about the little store next to the north of it?
You talking about the
Parking
grill
lot's going
store?
to go up to that, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It'll go from in front of Cosmo all the way down to where there's a lot between me and the Mexican meat market there. It'll cover
flags.
all of it.
But that could still be a parking. Would you allow parking for that location also for overflow?
We already do, yes, sir.
Okay, so you're not going to put up signs, we're going to tow you and
No.
that kind of fun stuff?
And
I wouldn't have those friends anymore.
that was one of the things that I was saying. We don't want you having to let trucks sleep there all night, but we'd like to have it to where the businesses around you can use it just as much as you're going to use it. Not to take it away from you during the daytime. during your
It
business.
just helps me to have traffic come through, so I'm all about that life.
James, do you have anything you want to talk to me about?
No, I have seen the building at 410, and it looks much better than it used to.
Thank you.
It looks very good.
That's wonderful.
My only complaint about it is the light on the back side of it shines into the neighborhood behind it, lighting up the lots and stuff. I
One
don't
on the
think-
back,
Yes, sir.
we can probably change that
I don't
out.
think it complies with Gun Barrel's lighting ordinance.
We can fix that.
Other than that, it's amazing.
Thank you. It smells better, too.
And now for the greatest Economic Development Corporation Treasurer in Gun Barrel City?
Well, I'm going to go with staff. If the staff feels that this is the right way to go, then I'm going with that.
Good.
I will as well.
Jerry?
I agree. I'm not on the committee, but I got to tell you, there's nothing worse than going to a business and not being able to find a parking space. And I've been into your site several times. I've talked with him actually as part of our large committee. So that's how I met you, and I've been to his business before, but it is, and I've been to the surrounding businesses. I really like the idea of being able to share that parking, you know, during different hours and not putting up the signs. It's good for everybody in the long run, and, but yeah, it's good for your business and growth, so I'm totally for the full amount.
So just to be clear to Lance and get it on the record, the staff recommendation is the $25,000 reimbursement after the project is complete and $55,400 of expenses are documented as paid.
Yes.
With the stipulation in the performance agreement that parking, I'm trying to think of how to word this.
After hours.
After hours parking will not be restricted
Yeah.
Right.
unreasonably.
Now, do we have to put all that?
Reasonable to restrict 18-wheelers from parking there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's by city ordinance. They're not allowed.
Okay, got it, cool,
That, I mean, he can have those by city ordinance towed.
yeah. And again, committee members, I appreciated the discussion, I'm sorry I didn't unpack what all was discussed back there very well, and if it misrepresented anything, I'm sorry, but I do think at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do, so.
So, any other discussion? Mr. Bond, would you care to make a motion for us to second and vote on?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve an incentive loan in the amount, a reimbursement grant for the amount of $25,000 for the $55,400 parking lot paving project once it's completed for LPC Holdings, and we proceed forward with it.
Well, let's get the name of it, I think you missed a letter there. Doesn't matter.
LPLC Holdings.
There we go.
LLC.
Yes, sir.
It didn't have the LLC in here. Had to go by memory. Okay.
Mr. Bond has made a motion, and I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, a vote from my left.
Rademacher, yes.
Rankin, yes.
Keys, yes.
Slack, yes.
Matthews, yes.
Bond, yes.
Motion passes, and our recommendation will go to City Council for you to receive the full $25,000 reimbursement grant upon providing us receipts on your paving projects.
And inspection.
Thank you, Lance.
Next item, number 8, consider and take action on an incentive request from Mosier Contracting, Inc.
Okay, Mr. Mosier are here as well, and same deal, they can answer the questions about the business, in case I miss a detail here. But Mosier's Contracting, Inc., DBA Mosier's Kitchen and Bath Design Center has applied for an incentive for acquisition renovation project to relocate one of their business lines, at least one of their business lines, to Gun Barrel City. The applicant is contracted to purchase the building located at 235 Gun Barrel Lane, which most of you will know, or all of you will know, is the old Eagle Auto Parts building.
Okay.
That building is intended to house his showroom and design center business unit for Mosier's. Again, I included the checklist in the packet. Application was sent in a separate confidential email. The request is for $85,000. When Mr. Mosier requested the incentive, he wasn't specific about how to break that up. Some form of combination of loan, reimbursement grant. Again, the incentive review committee met last week. That was last week, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it was last week. The applicant was present, and again, there was a lot of discussion about structure of a recommended incentive to this board. Once the applicant left, again, we can get more into that if we need to. Once the applicant left, the committee directed me to recommend the following, or to the board: $75,000 loan upon the building acquisition or the first eligible date of funding, whichever occurs last, with a 5-year term at 5% interest rate. Loan security would be a personal guarantee and first lien on real property. And then a $10,000 reimbursement grant once he receives his CO and $50,000 has been spent in eligible expenses as documented. Staff recommendation when I came in here is the same as the committee. I thought all of us left there on the same page. Again, we can get into the negotiation if we need to. I don't know if we do. One thing I would ask y'all to consider is to look at the prime rate, how it's been. You know, most of the loan portfolio, all of the loan portfolio that this body has done before I came in was at 2%. Clearly, that's well below any market rate. However, prime's coming down. Looks like it's going to come down again. It just dropped down, and it's going to come down again, wouldn't you say? At least a quarter, maybe half a point.
That's what's being,
And so I would just ask y'all to take that into account. But again, the recommendation that we came out of the committee with was 5-year term, 5% personal guarantee and first lien on real property of $75,000 and then a $10,000 grant on reimbursement grant. Moser's here. He can fill in any gaps that I've left out and tell you about how great his business is, which it has been substantial. I think we were all very impressed with his history in business, his growth in business, the quality of work he does, and I just found out he did Lance's floors there. He did 3 buildings.
Has this been discussed, and is there some type of agreement? I mean, as far as what he wanted?
What I did, we talked, Sunday night? We talked, and I let him know what I was gonna come in here and recommend. I told him there would probably be some discussion around the board as well. You know, the one thing that he did bring up to me was the interest rate, which is why I bring that up here.
And Charles, what were you wanting to recommend perhaps? What I was thinking was if you wanted to do something to recognize the prime rate is coming down, it would be 4.5%, probably, maybe 4. But I still think 5% is still a fair rate, even if you wanted to stay there.
Can I ask a question?
Let's face it, I was a little nervous coming and going against the committee's recommendation on the first one.
Charles, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
And the board. Okay, historically, a business of this caliber, we've given a 2% loan.
that's right.
And I understand 5%, but we're not a bank. We're not trying to make money. We're trying to bring businesses in. And for me personally, and this is just Keith, I'm at 2% because the Mosier name around the lake. I mean, and you can't just look at one city. They do the Lakeplex. So their business is going to do nothing but grow. And growing Gun Barrel, and right now the taxes may be at this point, or this right here.
Yep.
But business-wise, y'all have outgrown everything that you've been in.
Correct.
So my recommendation would be to really consider a 2% for this loan. We're still going to make money, but we're not in it to profit. We're in it to snag a business like Mosier into Gun Barrel. And that's, I'm just speaking for me, and it's up to the board. I'll follow the recommendation, but I would like to see at least start off at 2% and let's talk from there.
That's something we can talk about for certain, and also want to put on the table, we're now asking for security for the loan. Now, it says first lien on that property that you've got. That's not the property that you're putting your business in, because somebody else is going to have a superior lien on that. you have, I believe, in your application that you gave us, you had a $50,000 personal property that was free and clear.
Yes, sir.
Are you amenable to putting that up, a first lien on that? I'm going to make a motion that we move forward on this incentive, and I'm going to move forward that we move it at 2%. That's my motion. Have a second?
Bond second.
Any other further discussion, Linda?
Well, I'm happy to take care of making it possible for him to come into Gun Barrel. I'm excited about that. But I'm not excited in using our money unwisely, in that we have to be careful who we give it to and how we use it. And every dime we spend, we have to make back. And we're giving away grants, and we want to be able to come out even with that. And so by constantly giving money away at a 2% is just too much for me.
But
Now,
we're not giving it away. We're still gaining 2% on it.
you're still gaining 2%, but we haven't done that with the others that have just come in here. And we would not want to have them look at us and say, well, why didn't you do that for us?
Did we
So
give?
we're
how many
setting a
did-
precedence again.
How many have we done that we didn't do? And what percent rate did we?
Soul Man,
Soul Man is the one we've done so
Okay, and
far.
what did we do Soul Man's at?
5.
5. Okay. Soul Man, to me, is a different, they're not the same.
but let me say this in regards to that. The annual income is almost the same for him as it was for Soul Man.
Yeah.
So you're looking at equal partners here and the same amount that's going to be coming back in sales tax.
And you're looking at a more of what I would consider an individual businessman. You're not franchised.
No, sir.
And Soul Man's is more of it's a self-owned franchise, I would say. So there's multiple stores backing Soul Man's in a corporate type situation to where Mr. Mosier is an individual businessman. I mean, so to me, the backing that Soul Man's had is a little different. This gentleman, this is his only livelihood, as far as I understand. I mean, I'm willing to negotiate something other than 5%. I don't want 5%.
Well, a motion's on the table for 5%.
Well, the motion,
or 2%
and I-
right now, but a motion's here with a second.
Okay.
I think we either need to vote on it or I need to take it down, one of the two.
Meet in the middle.
Pardon me?
I would meet in the middle.
Either way, Mr. President, I still think y'all either need to vote on the motion or withdraw it
Right,
before you meet.
right, that's correct. Okay. No further discussion from my left, vote.
Vote on your motion.
Vote on the motion, 2%.
Rademacher, no.
Rankin, no.
Key, no?
Vote against your own motion?
Yeah.
Slack, yes.
Matthews, no.
Bond, yes.
Now then, we can renegotiate. It doesn't pass.
Can I just?
Yes, you
Can I
can.
just add one thing? One of the, I considered it a mandate when I was hired to change this loan portfolio. Okay? I agree with everything that's been said. I will say that the last incentive y'all considered was 5 times the risk of this one, so it should get a higher interest rate probably. So there is justification to not be at the same 5%. I don't know if there's justification to leave it just like the rest of your loan portfolio is now. So that's a mandate that we were given.
Based on my study and research, everything that you're selling in the entire Metroplex area is going to be sold through the business here, correct?
Correct.
So all the sales tax will come to this city from everything you sell in Dallas or wherever.
Correct.
That's significant.
Well, may I make a motion, please?
Yes.
I am going to ask that we provide a $75,000 loan upon the building acquisition, our first eligible date of funding, with a 5-year term of 4% interest, and a personal guarantee of first lien of real property.
We have a motion by Ms. Rankin at 4%. Second.
Motion
Have a
fails.
second?
I second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Motion. Vote to my left.
Rademacher, yes.
Rankin, yes.
Key, yes.
Slack, yes.
Matthews, yes.
Bond, no.
Motion passes. The loan will go at 4% with the caveats that we've just stated.
Can I just gently remind the board that there is another portion of this incentive that hasn't been considered yet?
Correct.
Was that on purpose?
Yes.
Just want to make sure we don't leave the
Yes.
grant, the reimbursement grant.
I was just trying to get the interest rate
Gotcha.
decided.
Okay, just making sure.
I'll make a motion to also extend a $10,000 reimbursement grant once certificate of occupancy is achieved and $50,000 eligible expenses have been documented.
Have a motion, second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, vote from my right.
Bond, yes.
Matthews, yes.
Slack, yes.
Key, yes.
Rankin, yes.
Rademacher, yes.
Motion carries for both the loan and the grant.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for your time.
Didn't even have to-
Thank you for being here with us. We look forward to having you in our city.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mosier.
If I hear no,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
and I hear no objections, so we are adjourned at 6:43 PM.